Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Buonasera Juventini. I hope you're all doing well. I sincerely hope that you had a fantastic day. It's Monday. Not a lot of people, they enjoy Monday because you need to start going back to work, to school. It's tough starting back. Well, this morning I already recorded a video that a lot of you watched, so really thank you for that. We go with a second video, a surprise video. For what reason? Because this morning, while speaking, while recording, I had so many news already that I forgot one of the most important ones. And you know how much we care here on the channel to celebrate birthdays. Well, today there is one, probably a Juventino. We can call him a Juventino that is celebrating his years. No, we are not yet speaking about Mattia Soulé. We are speaking about Felipe Anderson, because in the middle of the day, somewhere, there was that big news confirmed by a lot of journalists, Romeo Agresti, etc., that are all going towards the direction it is a done deal. Felipe Anderson, first signing of Juventus 24-25. Of course, not announced yet by Juventus. I can give you a bit more details about that, listening to a bit of sources informing me from what happened. They told me that apparently the contract could even be signed, but it's a contract with a special clause, a clause that is obliging Juventus to activate that clause to qualify to Champions League. If Juventus, you never know, worst case scenario, do not qualify to Champions League, Felipe Anderson will be free to still decide to go wherever he wants to. If Juventus qualify, looks like he is binded to that contract and he will have to join Juventus. Will have to. It's a big word, because he will be extremely happy, honor for him to join Juventus that will play much more competition than Lazio. Lazio, I tell you, they really tried as much as they can to keep him at Lazio, to extend him. They gave him several offers. The last offers was really a significant increase, going towards the 3.5 million euro. Hearing 4 or 5 years extension for the player that today is celebrating 31 years old, so going towards 35, 36 years old to remain Laziale. He wanted to go to another team, to a bigger team, to challenge himself. I already gave you so many times my opinion about Felipe Anderson, a player that is coming for free. If he comes, of course, is coming for free, a player that brings you a lot of experience, a player that played in Premier League, a player that played in Serie A multiple years. He knows the language, he knows the tactical way of playing, a player that every year is able to play 3,500 minutes per season in multiple competition. It's a player that is not difficult to manage if he needs to start from the bench, or if he starts, he can play on the left, he can play on the right. It's a technical player. It's a player that knows how to do some kisses to the ball. It's a nice player. I really like him. Of course, it's not the number one player that I wanted to see, to say, here we are with the name of Juventus 24-25. He can't be the player where you go to the store and you immediately buy his shirt. That's not the type of players. But I believe that a signing like Felipe Anderson for free, it's an important one, because he will free up a lot of money or more money for other investments in roles where we really need it. And going back to another birthday, and it's really strange coincidence, it's that today it's also the birthday of Mattia Soulé, that is celebrating today 21 years old. So happy birthday to one of my favorites, with how much I care, how much I like Mattia Soulé, that is doing exceptionally well in Frosinone. Especially that first half of the season was exceptional. Never doubted the qualities of the kid, but it's strange that Juventus is going towards one that is celebrating 31 instead of one that is celebrating 21. 10 years are different, while Juventus is keeping repeating how important that next-gen project is, how much it is important to let them grow and try to build a team made of 50% of this first team. Well, it makes sense. It makes totally sense in a way, especially if we are speaking about finances and if we are linking it to the words of Cristiano Giuntoli before the Derby della Mole, when he told you Mercato will be defined by the Champions League qualification. And that's what I told you also with that contract of Felipe Anderson, with that special clause, but also about the sales, if we will be able to do them. Mattia Soulé, that has been really in the eyes of the world this season, has a lot of offers, will receive a lot of offers, and you can cash in there, saving on Felipe Anderson, and with that money you can reinvest again in the roles that you need. So I can understand it. I will be sad. I will be sad telling you the truth about the Mattia Soulé potentially leaving, but that's the reality. Now we have other topics to speak about in today's video. I'm asking you to put a maximum of like, I'm asking you to subscribe to the channel, and I'm also asking you to tell me what you think about that Beppe podcast style of video where I'm trying at least to speak a bit slower, closer to the microphones, and trying to really enter into your environment. Now, Yildiz. The news that are arriving are beautiful. We were all waiting for that. Kenan Yildiz should extend with Juventus, confirmed by a lot of sources, by a lot of journalists like Fabrizio Romano, but also by other ones like CMET, calciomercato.it, that are reporting that Kenan Yildiz has already defined everything to extend with Juve. We were all speaking about 2029. Looks like they found an agreement until 2028. Am I really worried about that year of difference? Not that much, especially because a few months ago he already extended his contract until 2027, so it makes sense. A salary that will be increased, a trust that will be given to the player, probably, which has not been reported yet, but probably the number 10 on the shoulders, a player that believes in Juventus that believes in that player, and that's also probably one of the motives why sacrificing a Soulé, that with Kenan Yildiz, probably it would be too much Chiesa, Soulé, Yildiz, too much inexperience there as starting roles, and Soulé being back on the bench, preferably going to an experienced player that will accept the bench after a big career like Felipe Anderson. Well, Soulé, I'm super happy. Now, there is a big news there as well. It will be the last contract that he will sign together with the agency, Leader Brooks, that are representing him, because there are some talks with them. They are not finding the same agreements towards the future of Kenan Yildiz. Looks like also that the family wants to enter and participate a bit more, being involved in the management of the kids. So what is right, what is wrong, we don't know. There is a difference in views. Leader Brooks could potentially think about asking more money or asking the player to shorten even the request, going to 2027, or maybe putting a release clause in it. We don't know. We don't know, but at the moment, I'm absolutely not worried about it. From the entourage, the family of Kenan Yildiz, I already met, I believe, the father when he was in Belgium. Good guy, good person. So I'm absolutely not worried, and I believe it's a really fantastic news. Really fantastic news. I told you, if we're speaking about the Juventus Mercato, there was one man that was untouchable, and it is Kenan Yildiz, and now they are showing it with facts. Milik trained partially with the team, which is a really great news because we need some players, especially if we know that this morning it has been reported that Moise Kean has another physical problem, distortion or spray to the knee, which means that he could possibly miss the Cagliari game. Look, the last Moise Kean that I watched after coming back from that injury, it's not that he did a lot, but of course when you have nobody on the bench, it can possibly a problem. And speaking about bench, I want to go towards in a few words about the situation Federico Chiesa. Federico Chiesa, that has been leaked with videos when he was subbed out in the Derby della Mole. The lips were saying, I'm always the first one to be subbed out. Now, what does that mean? We know it. The relationship, the tactical relationship with Max Allegri has never been ideal. Then the personal relationship, I don't know. I don't know if they have a good relationship or not. But the tactical relationship, the view of understanding where to put him in that 3-5-2 has never been at peak. And it's confirmed also by Federico Chiesa leaving the field and not being really happy. Now, it's not the first player that we see that is not happy. Look, Federico Chiesa, we have to say it, only 3 goals in the last few months, not a lot. We waited a lot for him to come back from his injury. I'm expecting more from Federico. I'm expecting also from Max Allegri to be able to take the best out of Federico. So I think both are wrong. When you have a player like Federico, I believe both are wrong. If he's not performing at his level, the coach for not finding a solution to let him perform to his best, but I believe also the player to not perform to his best. We spoke about it a lot of time. We see him sometimes walking into the field. We see him sometimes being totally disinterested. We see him sometimes being frustrated or trying things that are not working. The results are that last season we didn't see him a lot. this season we saw him a lot because he's one of the players that played the most actually, or at least started the most, that we put a lot of trust in it, but we don't see him. Now there is another thing. Every time that I saw Federico Chiesa playing 2-3 games in a row, playing more minutes, every time he stopped because of that small injury. And knowing that Moiskin is what it is, Milik is what it is. So that management of minutes from a Chiesa can be understandable when you have a kid like Kenan Yildiz that is pushing. Now you can tell me, Beppe, but why are we not playing with 3 men up front? And then you agree, you don't agree, you like, you don't like. It's always going towards the same discussion. That balance, the balance of finding in that team that is not conceding a lot again in the last 2 weeks, but it's absolutely not scoring. So we have a big problem, and I believe that problem will go until the end of the season. Federico Chiesa, that for a lot of reasons is not performing at max, which is a big problem. Which is, of course, a big problem because we all wish and want to see a Kiko Chiesa being at his top. Now, I would ask to Fede, when you're asking, I am always the first one to go out at the 70th minute, I believe it's important to also make some auto-criticism and to understand also and to ask themselves, why am I always the first one? It's the coach, yes, but is there also something that I need to do better? And I'm thinking, and I'm quite sure, and it will be unpopular because I know that Federico Chiesa is a fan favorite, like he's one of my favorite players of the team as well. That it's a bit a controversial opinion, but I believe that he will find a lot of answers. I finish with the last one, the really short last one. It's a comical one or something again that I don't understand because we spoke a lot about VAR, strange decision in the beginning of the season where we were competing for a Scudetto, something that we pushed away when we were not competing anymore, and we don't even mention it, but it's really strange again, because you all remember that foul from Zapata. The ball was really far, Zapata with the elbow against Federico Gatti that fell on the ground. Well, we heard the audio from the VAR, like they're always doing in Italy a few days later, where you hear the referee, Maresca, that is clearly saying, hey, it's only the 20th minute. So a referee that is probably seeing, he's understanding, he hears from the VAR that are saying colpetto, there is a knock, there is that elbow from Zapata, but he's justifying not giving a yellow or not giving a red or whatever, or not going to VAR for a simple reason. It's because it's the 20th minute. But I remember that our season probably dropped on the 27th of January for a simple reason. For Milik, that is committing a foul, a correct foul, correct red, but it was the 18th minute. So the 18th minute, that's when he received the red card. So actually the foul happened even before. Really strange that there was not a referee that is saying, yeah, it's a red, but it's only the 18th minute. Really strange, really strange. Sometimes I hope that one day someone will explain me what is the difference between when Juventus is penalized or when Juventus is benefiting. Let me know. I'm really curious why, how. It doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter. We would probably qualify to Champions League, the Scudetto. We would not have won it in any way because we were not ready to do it. But it's really strange, these small details. So if you liked the video, please put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Grazie, forza, Juve.